Good evening, my dear students. Welcome to Edu Shastra. I am Vinod Shankaran, and today we will be doing some passages directly taken from the websites. Okay, the different resources that we keep talking about, New York Times, or say the Aeon magazine, or the Scientist, or the Observer. There are so many good resources where one can read things from the Scientist. Okay, so there are some passages that I'll show you. You'll have to read and understand. Okay, read and understand. Usually, passages are taken from the editorials of pages of newspapers and elsewhere. Okay, so just to give you a feel of how where these passages appear, this class we are conducting, where I'll tell you, I'll show you the, I'll directly show you the this one that what do you say, the website itself. Read, try to understand, and answer some questions based on those. What to understand, sir? What do we read? Are things that need to be learned. Okay, if you do not have a habit of reading, then it is not easy to read a passage and understand. Well, they need not be national. Okay, they need not be international. They can even be national. Okay, Indian Express, the Hindu, or the Statesman. How many of us would make sense of everything that we are reading? It's very important to read from a variety of resources. When you don't read from a variety of resources, the problem comes. That is, you do not know what to read, how to make sense, etc. Well, in the classes, I'll tell you the theory behind reading, how we read, what do we read, why does the author write, everything, all those things I can teach. But basically, the patience to read things and be able to understand and develop an interest in reading is very important for whichever profession you choose to be in. Reading is part and parcel of what we do, or else we get stuck in the lower rungs of the corporate world. You don't go up. वो नीचे का ही एक सेट पैटर्न का काम होता है, उसी में फंसे रहोगे, याद रखना. दिस इज वन वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग आई एम टेलिंग यू. People do not rise up in life because they are not ready to read. If you're not upskilling, and upskilling, when I say upskilling, then immediately one of the things come into the fore, that is reading, being able to understand things from a variety of fields. Okay, whichever profession you choose to be in, it's very important that you read. Okay, so just give me a second so that again I can show you the first passage, and this has been taken from the Aeon magazine. Okay, you'll see the source yourself, and then I'll ask you some questions. Okay, give me a second. Okay, now here is that article from the Aeon magazine. Read this. You see here, Aeon. That's a very, very good resource to read from. So the Aeon magazine, that's where you start from. So I'm going to show you a passage. Okay, make sure that you are able to understand it. Now, sir, I don't have any skills, sir. I don't read, I don't have any skills. See how much of it you can comprehend and answer the questions that I will show you a little later. Okay, so let's start reading. I'm going to take my picture off because me sitting on the screen will actually bother you. You'll get disturbed. Okay, so let me show you the passage. Okay, then here is the passage. Read it. Now you pay attention to the words that you do not know. I'll ask you the questions. I'll keep asking you the questions. Read till here. Read till here. What are pamphlets? How many of you know what pamphlets are? How many of you know what pamphlets are? It's a fish. Very good. Very good. Okay, people who don't eat fish or non-veg. Okay, and then anchovies are fish. Well, that is clear. Okay, what do we mean by bycatch? What do we mean by bycatch? Side catches. Very good. By catches is side catches or extra. I'm actually fishing for a particular along with the main fish. Very good. Okay. Where she would start, she had stashed away. What is the meaning of this? My mom would bring out wares she had stashed away for the grayer days. There are two. There are two idioms coming one after the other. She had stashed away for the grayer days. For the grayer days means during the season that there was no catch. Low account. Very good, Oja. Very good, Bita. Okay, so you understand now. That's very, very nice. Okay. So, and who is a fishmonger? Okay, yes, very good. And who is a fishmonger? Fish seller? Okay, very good. The fish seller. Fish seller. Yes, fishmonger. Okay. Then, okay, now come to the next part. Here, what is tactile? What is tactile? Tangible, very good. The sense of touching, something that can be touched and understood. Because he says, though though they used to come in sterile packets, I would still run my hands to see whether it is fresh or not. Well, what is serendipitous? What is serendipitous? Without the sights, sounds, and serendipitous communal life of a coastal fish market, what is serendipitous? Very good. Good fortune. Serendipitous is good for. No, it's not lively, beta. It is good fortune. Like the fish market is all about good catches. Okay. Somebody gets a very good catch. Somebody does not. Okay. So without the sight, sounds, and serendipitous communal life of a coastal fish market, buying seafood has lost its allure for me. So what should be the meaning of allure? Now you tell me. Serendipitous is without these, okay, because somebody who had not got a good catch, say the day before, might have come up with a great catch the day after. And so allure must be what? Attraction. Very good. So he says buying it from the supermarket is not all that good. It was the charm is in actually going to the fish market and buying it. Okay. So in the first two paragraphs, he has talked about what? Okay. He has talked about serendipitous is not attractive. Serendipitous is lucky. Serendipitous communal life. What does that mean? That the fishermen sometimes would get a good catch, sometimes they will not get a good catch. That is the meaning. Okay. Anyway, so come to the next. What were the first two paragraphs? It is talking about how the author used to love those good days when he used to like that he loves fish is something that is very clear. Fish market and seafood, absolutely. His childhood memories. Okay, now the next paragraph changes the idea. Now you read it and tell me what is happening. What is happening? There is a transition. So what is happening here? Done. Now here you tell me something. Now, what is copious amounts? What do you guess must be copious? Huge amounts. Very good. Copious means large amounts. Yes. Very huge amounts is copious amounts than they did before. For many, eating meat means improved food security and nutritional status. Okay. Then, but it also pushes against our planet's boundaries like few other anthropogenic. What do you mean? What do we mean by that? Anthropogenic. What do you think could be the meaning? Very good. Anthro is humankind. Okay. Anthropo is human. Humankind. And genic is giving birth to. Gen is giving birth to. So anthropogenic, man-made is due to human activities. Okay, with cow flatlands enveloping Earth and temperature raising gases and the Amazon losing its cover to cattle feed. What do we mean by flatlands? What do we gas? Absolutely. Do you know that? Do you know that it's such a huge task? Okay, it's just it's huge task when you grow cattle. Okay, call it whatever, call it Gaumata or whatever Mata. Okay, what I'm a Hindu. I do believe in Gaumata, but the problem with the cattle is gas, Anushka. Gases. Okay. Now when they burp, they release ozone depleting gas. When they fart, when they pass wind, okay, they release what do you say? That greenhouse gases. Do you know that? Okay, so when I use huh? Okay, so yes, and yes, methane gas. So it is very, very difficult. Okay, cattle eating, okay, cattle rearing and eating is a huge issue. Do you know that? It's a huge issue. And everybody goes for it because we consume a lot of dairy products, a lot of dairy products. Now, the problem here is a lot of dairy products, then cow, whether you eat it or you don't eat it, the problem remains with cattle. That is one of the huge contributors to uh, climate change. I don't know what is going to happen to us. Now, that is one genuine question that bogs me down every day in the morning. I think, how long are we going to survive? I don't know. Anyway, so let's forget that. Let's focus on the passage. And then, Prana, what is detrimental? What is detrimental? Destructive, injurious, very good, harmful, very good, very good. So, what is this part talking about? For many, eating more here, from here on, till here. What is the focus of the passage? How meat consumption can be harmful to a person, harmful to the society, harmful to the world. Okay, damage to earth. Okay, now let's come to the next one. Okay, read this. Done. Done reading, beta. So what do we mean by jarring? It says too jarring to ignore. What does it mean? We are currently at a point in time where the evidence against the ills of factory farmed meat. Jarring is unpleasant. Jarring is unpleasant, harsh. Okay, harsh to visibly or to the ears. Visibly jarring or audibly jarring. Okay, something that is too harsh. Okay, he says that evidence is too harsh to ignore now. Okay, jarring, they are so blatant, they are so clear that we cannot ignore it. Okay. What do we mean by apocalypse? What is an apocalypse? What do you think? We cannot keep eating this way. Disaster. Any better word? Calamity. Very good. One more Graham. Okay. Or a word? Some other word? Catastrophe. Okay. Annihilation. Okay. Catastrophe. Annihilation. Very good. So, what is arable lands? What are arable lands? Farmable, cultivable. Okay. Okay. So, what did you understand from the passage? Where did it all start? It all started as a narration. It all started as a story. And later on, he has got a message. He has got a message. Okay. And then he says, okay, we cannot keep consuming meat the way we are. It's better that we shift to blue foods. Very good. Okay. So now there are some questions. Okay. Let me see how many of you can actually do those questions. Okay. Which of the following is the best summary of the passage? Which one do you think is the best summary of the passage that you just read? These are the kind of questions that come. Okay, so when we read, we can actually relate to the kind of questions that come also. So if I had asked you, even without showing you these questions and the options, if I had asked you what is the passage about, you would say, sir, he started discussing seafood, okay, from his childhood as a narration, and then he moved on to a transition into eating meat and showed us the disadvantages of eating factory made food and how it harms everything around us, and then actually gives us a solution also, saying that we should shift to blue foods. Okay, so now come to this. Is it okay, Sahib? Did you read it? Okay. Okay. Shall I show you the next two? Is it okay? All of you? Pehle pad lo. Check kar lo. Whether any one of these can be the answer. Okay, so wait. And read this also. Let's come to this. Sir, this aquaculture is not correct. Okay, aquaculture is nowhere given. Acronym on the shift towards aquaculture to meet the world's protein needs. It explains the energy efficiency of aquatic animals, and the shift towards aquaculture to meet the world's protein needs, and match it with the fifth one. The passage addresses the concerns, negative environmental effects, concerns of environmental effects. Which one is better? Outlines the negative environmental effects of factory farm food, or the passage addresses the concerns about the environmental impact of factory farmed meat and introduces the concepts of blue foods. Increasing interest. Where is it given that the interest is increasing? It's not given. The author is suggesting that people should be going for it. He's suggesting that there is no increasing interest there. Therefore, this is wrong. The fifth one is the correct option. Let's go to the others. Okay, let's go to the others and check. Some of you actually said that fifth is the correct one. Okay, here, see, the passage discusses the environmental sustainability concerns related to factory farmed meat. It is not raising sustainability. Sustainability does not want that factory farmed meat to be consumed. Okay, so this is erroneous. The passage emphasizes the environmental impact of factory farmed meat and the need for sustainable food sources. It introduces the concept of blue foods, which are harvested from aquatic environments, and discusses the growth of aquaculture as a solution to food sustainability challenges. Now, this part, food sustainability challenges, it is not saying that. It is, and again, it is not environmental impact of factory farm food and the need for sustainable food sources. Okay, the need for sustainable food sources. It simply says shift from there to blue foods. This part is incorrect. Third one, the passage presents the environmental problems associated with factory farmed meat. That's correct. And explores the concept of blue foods, correct, as a more sustainable alternative. More sustainable alternative. That should not happen. You don't eat factory produced meat and take a more sustainable alternative. Take a sustainable alternative. The previous one is not sustainable. More sustainable. What do we mean by more sustainable? It means that was also sustainable. This is better. It's not that. The first one is a no. Factory farmed meat is a no, and this is a yes. So this more should not be there. Reliable source of food, that part is correct. Yes. Therefore, the fifth one is the correct option. The fifth is the correct option. Now, there is one more question based on this. There is one more question. Ojal, it could be. It could be. Now, match it with the fifth option that you marked there. there is a lot of urgency in you. There is a lot of urgency in you. Okay, why don't you give it some time? Think about all the options and ask me to show you the this one also. Only then take a pick. What all were discussed? Bharat, very good, beta. Bharat, very good. Okay, I'm going to show you the fifth summary. Anything you write, whether it is the summary or it is the title, it should be able to address the article. It should be able to address the article. Okay, so now you tell me, which one do you think is the correct one? Because you read the fifth summary. Choose the correct option in the next slide. Is that clear? Is that clear? Have you read it? Keep this in mind. Keep all the important points in mind and choose the correct option from this. Don't go for beautifully worded sentences. Rather, go for the context. मानोगे ही नहीं. Anjali, Shashank, Mohammed, wrong. Anushka, wrong. Kuber, wrong. Khushbu, wrong. Ishika, right. Absolutely. Prerna, wrong. Now, some answers have started becoming better. Khushbu, wrong. Mayank, wrong. Anushka, yes. Ramya, wrong. There are two options which are very close, which capture each and every point. Captures each and every point. Each and every point. Prerna, very good. See, the correct answer is fifth. Check it. Now you tell me why fifth should be the correct answer. You tell me. I'm not going to give you an answer. Why fifth matches the bill correctly, sir? Blue foods and aquaculture navigating the changing landscape of food production. How is it different from the first one? The environmental impact of factory farmed meat and the rise of blue foods. Is it only the rise of blue foods? Or how the most of the passages devoted to what? Most of the passages devoted to what? Yes, Shishika, we did. But what is the main idea? I devoted so many paragraphs to discussing blue food, and how it can actually help us come up with a sustainable food alternative. And we are talking about blue foods. Which means animals which have been fed, not produced in the factory, but they have been produced in natural environments. Could you get that point? Blue foods, does it simply mean seafood? Towards the end of the passage, did blue food only mean seafood? Did it only mean seafood? You would see we said yes. Therefore, the fifth one is the correct one because it captures all the points. Do you get my point? So don't be in a hurry to choose these answers. You have to see blue foods and aquaculture. Yes, blue foods includes meat which is not farm produced. Plus navigating the changing landscape of food production. Environmental impact need not necessarily be written because when I say navigating the changing landscape, is it not changing, beta? Anushka, if we had stopped as we had done in the initial phase, when we had not read the entire article, then the environmental impact would have become very important. But later on, all the paragraphs were talking about aquaculture and the production of blue foods, including meat. Did you see that? So fifth one is the correct one. That is why we need to practice and learn the concepts, what to look for in a passage, how to read. And if you're not getting them wrong here, don't worry. If you know the concepts and then still you are getting them wrong, then it's a worry. Okay, so let me show you one more passage. Okay, one more passage now. This time it is from New York Times. Okay, so let's check that also. Let me see how many of you can do that.